Slauson Rec. It is Slauson Rec. For those of you who don't know, it's the most anticipated film. But before we get to that, there's so many articles about this. Before we get to that, because I know what we all came here for. Everyone's talking about this Sony FX2, and oh man, I've been thinking about this, and I honestly don't know how I feel, you know, because this, I mean, honestly, I don't care. I could care what, this doesn't affect me at all, but I know people want my opinions about it. And so, look, here's the thing. Same exact sensor as the Sony A7C Mark II. I mean, that's what I use for these live streams. I mean, that's not something to be excited about, you know? So that's kind of where I just kind of go, yeah, okay. But I mean, I guess there are people out there that want to know about it. Here's the thing. I feel like I got it figured out, right? Because this thing, they're making a big deal about it having a nice tiltable EVF, which is cool. It's cool that they have the tiltable EVF, and it's interesting that they put 32-bit float into it. And it seems like they wanted to make the perfect, quote-unquote, affordable miniature FX6, right? What is up, Jason McHam? Man, I remember when Shia Labeouf volunteered to be in Project Greenlight. Yeah, I remember that show. That show didn't ever really come to fruition, did it? But this is gonna be good. This is the main platter of the evening right here. Shia LaBeouf's theater company from hell. The documentary went to Cannes, and it premiered at Cannes. And Shia greenlit the release of this documentary because it was a kid that he kind of promoted to start filming every day at his film school in LA, right? So he got this kid to start filming. The kid had never filmed anything before, and he just filmed every single day, filmed this documentary, and then put it together, chopped it up. It was hours and hours upon footage, and told Shia that, you know, he asked for Shia LaBeouf's blessing if he could put the documentary out, or, you know, try to release it, try to get it distributed. And Shia said yes. Without ever watching the movie, he just straight up said yes. and it got in at the Cannes Festival, and now it kind of backfired on Shia LaBeouf a little bit because it's literally footage of him beating up one of the students, right? So and you can see here, he says he's disgusted with himself, but at the same time happy as fuck because, you know, it got into Cannes, right? And it involves him. You know, Shia LaBeouf, look, he is a prodigy. I've always been a huge fan of this guy. I'm more obsessed with his desire to be an artist. I'm impressed by his tenacity. I'm impressed by his insanity, his chaos. But the funny thing is like, he's also like the poster child of narcissism Hollywood, right? Or like it's just like, it's like poetically perfect. That screenplay competition that picked the worst screenplay to be the winner. Wait, did that make it to television? I vaguely remember that. Wait, I think I was involved with that somehow. Wasn't I involved in that? Why does that sound so familiar to me? We're talking about Project Greenlight. That sounds so familiar to me from 2001 to 2023. No, this is not at all what I was thinking. Is this what you're talking about, Jason? This thing? 4-part series? Oh, this is the thing with, yes, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Dude, I forgot about this. Holy shit, I forgot about this show. Wait. So he volunteered, you're saying Shia LaBeouf volunteered to be in this? As in like a coach or a director, or like a contestant? The winner was a loser and got to direct it. Yes. Dude, I did not know he participated in this. So did he, wait, it's a bunch of actors, right? It's like a bunch of, so it's not like everyday people. This is like celebrities doing a show about making movies or something crazy. I have no idea what this is. This shit looks crazy dated though. I do remember this now. 2001. Wow, it had a huge run. It took them that many years to do 4 seasons. You submitted a screenplay back then and you had to grade each other's work. You were on the show? You did the show? Yeah, man. I vaguely remember this crazy shit, dude. Yeah, he was starting out and jumped on board. That is hilarious. Well, I don't know if he was, what do you mean starting out? Maybe in 2001 he was starting out, but even then, I don't know. I mean, he's a child actor, man. He's been around for a very long time. It was probably, you know, maybe you're thinking of like Transformers or something. But I mean, Shia Labeouf's a child actor, dude. He's been around a long time. Yeah. Wow. Interesting. Yeah, Project Greenlight. Yeah, that's hilarious, man. Anyways, yeah, dude, Shia LaBeouf. So now he's in a little bit of hot water, but you know, we'll circle back around to that. Because I wanted to get these cameras out of the way. This Sony a7 II, I guess, I saw a lot of people making videos about this, and look, the thing is this is their answer for like the Pixis, right? Like this is Sony's answer for something like the Pixis, because notice that it says that the body is going to be thicker than an FX3. And you know, it's got the 32-bit float. It's got this like tiltable EVF thing. It seems like a affordable option for them to compete with a camera like the Pixis this way. This is just my BS take on it, you know, so take it with a grain of salt. But the reason why I say that is because if you combine the idea of having the tiltable EVF with the idea of 32-bit float, and then with the idea that you're going to use that same top handle that they've been using for years on the FX3, right? So that's kind of their way of being like, look, now they can have like a little tad bit more affordable, more versatile, quote unquote, versatile option if you can't afford the FX6, right? That's what it seems to be. And so, but it's not like in terms of the specs aren't really that exciting, are they? I mean, they're using the same sensor that they've had for quite a while now. If you have an A7 IV or an A7C Mark II, you already have the sensor. Look, I'm streaming on the A7C II right now. It's not the world's most impressive sensor. I'll say that. You know, I mean, it's fine, but it's not like, you know, it's not going to do like what the A7S III or the FX3 can do. You know, I guess it's got the faster AI chip. What is it? The same chip as the A7R5, I believe. And so, anyways, I don't know, man. And then it's got a Super 35 crop for 4K 60, you know, and it's got a thicker body than the FX3. It's just, I don't know. I don't understand. And I think this seems to be the general consensus, right? Like people are confused by it, but I'm not confused by it. Like to me, it makes sense. Like to me, this is their way of competing with the Pixis. Like this is their way of entering that kind of more versatile market, you know, of adding that tiltable EVF with the 32-bit float. They're thinking of combining that with the top handle. They're thinking of it being like this more affordable option as an FX6, even more affordable than an FX3 because it has those little bit of extra features of the tiltable EVF and the 32-bit float. Anyways, what I was kind of impressed to see, and I never care anything about Panasonic Lumix cameras, but these bad boys right here, this is a weird thing. Like, I don't follow Panasonic at all, so I don't know. Like, is this just something they do? Did they just put out 2 cameras that look almost identical at the same time, and they're like what, like $500 or $600 apart? And I don't know. It just kind of seems like a funny thing to do because they are very, 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 very similar. Like down to the fact that they both only take one actual full media card. What I mean is like, they both only take one B Express and one normal SD. So you would think like the more expensive one would have like a normal dual card slot, but it doesn't. It's exactly the same as the cheaper one, right? So it's like, oh, that's kind of funky, man. Like, why? Look, those are 2 different cameras, and the picture is exactly identical. So odd that they don't even allow like the more, I guess, quote unquote, higher end one, which I think would be the S1 II, right? It's definitely the more expensive one. Why doesn't that have like a normal size dual card slot rather than like, one for proxies or whatever. I don't know, man. But the specs on these cameras are gnarly. I'm just so out of the loop when it comes to like specs on these cameras. Like, look at this S1 II. It's got 5.1K 60K open gate. Wow, with a high resolution mode of 96 megapixels. Holy cannoli. And then this one down here, the by the way, this naming is hilarious. The Lumix S1 What the hell? Just some weird, why so much, man? 2E, S1 Hilarious fucking naming on this camera, by the way. But look at this one. This one's gnarly. It's got internal 422 10-bit. Internal 422 10-bit with these blackout free OLED live viewfinders. I mean, they feature-wise, these cameras seem to have a lot of cool options. Is it a camera that I'm going to buy? No, right? I'm not that type of person. But I'm just saying, like, this is an impressive camera to me. Like, both of these is like, wow, these are pretty impressive features for what you're paying, you know? Meanwhile, over on the Sony side of things, you're getting the same old sensor as the A7C II and A7 IV, and it actually crops in. It's got a Super 35 crop. Meanwhile, these are going fucking 5K, 60p, open gate. Like, it's insane. Yeah, dude, these are crazy specs with internal 10-bit. Yeah, these cameras are nuts. These cameras are nuts. Anyways, I guess we're too early on the ball tonight to get some riffraff going on about that one. Okay, let's get to the prime feast. now that we can relax a little bit. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I can play this trailer because it's through Vanity Fair. It's like embedded on their website. Either way, we'll find out, I suppose. Let's see if it'll, I'll mute mine.
Start a theater school. It's called the Slauson Recreation Center Theater School. You don't have to be an actor. You don't have to ever have thought about being an actor. You do, however, have to have a story that you're willing to share. All I ask of you is that you show up and stay for 1 hour.
Hold on. I want to just rewind and show you that shot of his face again, dude. Now, here's the thing. Like, look, I remember when this was happening, I was excited about it, dude. I was like, yeah, dude, this is going to be cool. Look at his face. He's so into it. This is why I love, look, this is why I love this guy. You know, this is why I love this. Look at his face, dude. Like, he's into it. Like, he does care. You know, he cared. And you know, you got that vibe. You know, I wanted to go down and check it out, but I don't remember why I never went and checked it out. It was just one of those things where you knew what was going on, but then you're like, nah, I'm good, dude. You know, I'm good. I don't need to go check it out or nothing. Anyways, let's see.
Sure. All I ask of you is that you show up and stay for 1 hour. If you don't like it, leave. If you do like it, I'll be there next Saturday. I'll be there every Saturday at 9 a.m. building shit with whoever shows up. I'm trying to change the world. If you are too, let's get it. Bang.
Yeah, I mean, we all taking a beating here. I gave up everything, job, everything, because I believe in all of y'all and all of this.
Yeah, I told you I respect you. Yeah, but I don't give a fuck what you say to me. It's about what you do.
It's like a dog on a chain. It's like your neck is being choked. He could have taken the thing off his neck, but he didn't do that.
I don't really care if you like me. Because what I know to be true is, if the shit is successful, you will love me. You will fucking love me if we win. You will fucking love me.
Oh shit, man. Yeah, so he let's dissect this a little bit. You know, this is a funny thing. This is a funny thing to me.
I can't believe I didn't know you.
Why? Did something mess up? Oh, Jesus. No, I think I'm okay sharing this because this is embedded. What's up, Trevor? This is embedded directly into Vanity Fair website, I was saying. But why? Was it gnarly? Was it gnarly sounding? Let me know, guys, because last week I noticed that. Shit. Let's just mute this for a minute because I do want to back up here a little bit. Look, dude. I can already tell the documentary is going to be amazing because this trailer I've watched quite a few times at this point. This trailer gets me jazzed up and like, it gets me excited, right? Like it's cut really well. The trauma, you know, he's intent. He was going through it. You know, he's going through it back then. By the way, there's a chick chilling back here. Look at, there's a chick just chilling. Wait. Where was she? Oh no, where? Back here She's reading a book when he was flipping out, banging the table. She's just chilling back here reading a book. Is that his old lady, dude? Is that his girlfriend back there? That's so funny, dude. Who is that back there? She doesn't have a care in the world reading the fucking Cheesecake Factory menu while he's banging on the table. That is so funny, man. Oh my God, dude. That guy should consider talking to a therapist. I'm not an expert, but he always feels right on the edge of control. Oh, dude, yeah, dude. He was on drugs for a long time. He did the whole rehab thing. He did the whole thing, and now he's a saint. He's a saint now. Like literally, the thing about him is like every movie he's in, he has to like embody the role. So do you guys remember when he played a Mexican gangster? Did you guys ever see that? He actually became a Mexican gangster. They actually have it's real. Like that's why he has those tattoos. So he has these tattoos because of that role. He got so into the role where he really thought he was in a Chicano gang, dude. Let me see if I can get a good shot of his tattoos here. Yeah, look at his tattoo, dude. So this is what I mean. This is what I mean when I say, dude, you have to respect that level of dedication. Also, he is so wasted right here. Just look at his eyes. Like he can't even like, he's like, like that's like perfect wasted face. Trust me when I tell you. Look at his face. He's wasted. He goes, you will love me. You will fucking love me. Listen to what he says.
You will fucking love me if you win. You will fucking love me.
You will love me. Oh my God, dude. It's too good, man. It's too good. I loved watching him screaming into those webcams he had set up around the place, yelling, "Not my president." Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh dude, we gotta try to find that. It just sucks. Everything's on YouTube. And yeah, that was golden. I loved when he did the whole paper bag on his head. Man, with that actually, I saw that. I wish I would have documented that. That you ever, those are the times when you're like, man, where were you on that one, dipshit? It's like, why didn't I document that? Because that was definitely going on when I lived in North Hollywood. So I was close to that. I even rode by the line at one. I'm talking about when he put the paper bag on his head and he went into this art hall, and people could come in there. And they could, there was a table, right? Let me see if I can find anything about that. The Shia Labeouf art piece. I guess it was considered performance art or something. Yeah, I guess it was considered performance art. And so there was, look at this one. I was raped during performance art project. This is what I'm talking about. So he was raped during it. So this is the thing. They could come into the room. Yeah, so he wore it on the red carpet too. This same paper bag. It says, "I'm not famous anymore." He wore it on the red carpet, but so he also wore it into the art gallery, and there was a table, right? And you could go in the room, and there was like a weird assortment of shit on the table. Like I think there was a wrench or a screwdriver or something. Oh, by the way, when I was making that Roger Deakins video recently, I never noticed this, but in No Country for Old Men, when Javier Bardem asks for a screwdriver from the guy, it's when they find oh geez, now I'm gonna try to talk and this isn't gonna go well. Javier Bardem is trying to find Josh Brolin's character when it first starts, and he goes down the hill, and the trucks are there, and the two like cops are there, and Javier Bardem walks up and he opens the door, and he wants to pop the metal thing. He wants to, I guess for whatever reason, VIN numbers used to be on metal plates with old cars, but he looks at the guy and he goes, "You got a Scoogie?" And I was like, wait, did he just say Scoogie? I thought that was so funny, man. Oh, but is that, maybe I'm just ignorant. Is that Spanish for screwdriver? Do they say Scoogie instead of screwdriver? If I don't know. Whatever it is, it was just so perfect hearing him say that, because his character barely talks in that whole movie. And he goes, "You got a Scoogie?" So good, dude. No, it's fine. Method acting for sure. Yeah. He's saying "you will love me." Yeah, he was really, the weird thing is like that, that school was
from Cobra Kai.
That school was really taking off. Let's take 2 seconds and talk, since you might have insight. I've watched Shia his whole career. Of course, when he was young, there was no hint he was a megastar in the making. Yeah, that's what I mean, man. I mean, he does have a really good career. Look, I'm a huge fan. I think most people will agree with this, and that's why he's worked so much. People are actually a big fan of his work. I mean, just outside of his child acting, right? So if we just look at some of the amazing stuff he's done, by the way, Fury, this movie in general, everyone is amazing in Fury, right? This movie is so insane. But this was the movie where he started getting a lot of like heat for being like really trying hard to be method, where he didn't shower, right? So this is about guys in World War II who are like running the tanks. If you've never seen it, badass cast too. But his whole thing, like, he didn't shower because he's like, well, these guys aren't able to shower. So he didn't shower. He was doing a lot of weird stuff on this movie. And at the time, people weren't too happy about it. But now afterwards, like, everyone praises him for it, right? Like, especially this John Bernthal guy, because, you know, he's got that big podcast and he talked about it on the podcast. John Bernthal was like, oh, I hated him when it was happening, you know, but then afterwards he ended up, you know, having a lot of respect for him or whatever. I don't know. I'm kind of back and forth when it comes to the whole method acting thing. I think actors like Shia Labeouf try really hard to be that. And then there's just people that are just that. Do you know what I mean? So like, and this isn't to take away from Shia's talent or his practice, but who I'm specifically talking about is one of the greatest actors of all time is Daniel Day-Lewis, okay? Now, Daniel Day-Lewis gets a lot of heat for being method as well. But the difference is Daniel Day-Lewis truly is embodying the role, right? Like, he truly is doing it. When I watch Shia LaBeouf, I don't get the feeling that he is actually embodying the role the way that method actors are supposed to embody the role. Does that make any sense at all? So in acting school, it's like broken down, right? And it's easily, I know we're getting super nerdy about acting now, but I mean, this is, you know, I mean, I did it for a very long time and I have a master's in theater, so I kind of know what the fuck I'm talking about. And I actually did train at the Stanislavsky School at the Moscow Art Theater School in Russia. So I know a lot about this method stuff because that's method acting was literally born from the Stanislavsky technique, okay? So anyways, this is how it goes, right? So Stanislavsky was like the beginning of people acting, really embodying the role. And one of his prize students was Michael Chekhov, who was Anton Chekhov's nephew, right? And so Michael Chekhov did the whole program with Konstantin Stanislavsky, and then he broke off. And Michael Chekhov kind of twisted the idea of this kind of method, the Stanislavsky method, which is the method, you know, for those that don't know. And he kind of twisted it, and Michael Chekhov twisted it on its head and made it more what I call hippy-dippy. So he made it more about changing the character outside. So you change your character from the outside rather than from within. That's the Michael Chekhov way. But the Stanislavsky way, which is the original method acting, obviously is the opposite. You embody the role from within before the without, right? So you worry about literally changing the body from within. And that's where you get real method actors like Daniel Day-Lewis, because that's what he's doing. He literally embodies the role from within. Whereas Shia LaBeouf, he doesn't do that. He embodies the role from out, right? And that's like, oh, the character doesn't take showers, so I'm not going to take showers, right? It's like, okay, I guess, right? I mean, it's almost the equivalent of, like, dare I say, blackface, right? I mean, it's not that bad, but it is kind of similar, right? Because it's just like, it's thinking of what the character looks like from the outside. That's not what method acting is. Method acting is what this crazy asshole does, and I'm talking about Daniel Day-Lewis. This guy literally changes every single movie. And you can just see it from these fucking pictures. Like, every one of his movies is literally a different human being. And then you go, wait, and then he wins some big award, because he always wins awards. And he walks up on stage and he's a little tiny frail man, right? Super frail. And he's very soft-spoken, and you're like, what the fuck is this, dude? And he literally is a shoe cobbler. When he's not acting, he's cobbling shoes in Ireland or wherever the fuck he's from, right? So this is what I mean. And then the roles he plays are just insane. If you've seen anything this man has ever done, and if you haven't, well, then you need to watch There Will Be Blood. That's your first homework. There Will Be Blood is probably the best performance that I've ever seen in my entire life. It is so insane. Okay, you watch that, and then watch, you know, My Left Foot, which is the complete other end of the spectrum, where he's in a wheelchair because he's, I think he's a cerebral palsy patient or something gnarly with him. Basically, you know, only his left foot is the part of his body he can actually move. Anyways, I know we went down that rabbit hole, but you know, Trevor asked, so we got into it. But that's my thing. But look, that's not to say that I am not highly impressed with Shia LaBeouf. Like I am. I'm a huge fan of Shia LaBeouf because I'm also in the camp of I don't care what method you use, right? As long as you're committed. And I will say, and I believe that Shia LaBeouf does commit. I mean, he commits, right? I mean, it's to testament of why he got the friggin' huge, Latino tattoo on him because he thought he was in a gang when he was playing the character. But again, that's another great example of changing the character from the outside rather than from within, right? Big difference there. But anyways, still he's highly dedicated, he's highly committed, but he's also, you know, he's got some afflictions, he's got some demons, and most young actors do. I would say all artists have some demons, but definitely people that started acting as young as him, you know, he was a little boy when he started acting. It's a different world that you grow up in, you know, and he just wasn't just some little commercial actor. I mean, he was a celebrity when he was a kid, you know, because of the Disney Channel. I mean, that shit will change you, man. So, you know, none of us know what that's like. So, you know, we can't judge the man. You know, I don't judge him. I actually applaud the guy because he's so fucking insane and intense, and he owns it. You know, that's what's kind of most admirable about the way that he owned this whole, like you know, so anyways, this Slauson Rec documentary just premiered today at Cannes. Right, so everybody now has got to see him, and today was the first time Shia himself watched this documentary that he employed a kid at his school to make, right? But he never watched it, and so but the nice thing is that he's owning it, right? He's literally owning it because there was one right here where he says, "Yeah, I can be both disgusted with myself and happy as F." So he's owning, and that's another thing. Like I kind of applaud him for is that he doesn't run. Right, he never runs, and that's really quite interesting of him to see his character like that. Because you think of all the drama he used to get in, like he was getting arrested all the time, and he went off, and then he remember for a while he was trying to be a rapper, or he was trying to convince the world he wanted to be a rapper or whatever. I mean, he's insane, right? There is a little bit of insanity there, or some sort of, I don't know, some sort of narcissism at play or something. But you gotta, how can I say this? You gotta applaud him for having the commitment, you know? And that's what I love about, you know, to me, like real artistry is taking big risks, you know? And the man takes huge risks. He takes huge risks. And I have to applaud that. You know, I mean, yeah, a lot of the times it's to his own detriment, right? Like it's his own self-destruction, but I still have to applaud it because I'm like, well, there's no one else out here doing this shit. You know what I mean? So it is kind of cool. I saw more promise in Leguizamo. Why did Sis break through and John didn't? No. Look, Trev, I told you last week, man. You're kind of sleeping on Leguizamo a little bit, dude. Like he's bigger than you think, man.
At the
I
bottom.
mean, you know, he's dude. I gotta turn this off. He is around, man. John Leguizamo. I don't understand why you don't think that he's had like an awesome career, dude. His career is amazing, dude. Yeah, you gotta applaud him when the judge orders his commitment. Yeah, but he still comes back. Like right now, he's like, he became a saint or something. Now, part of that is because he was in a movie where he was playing a saint. But I mean, look at Leguizamo's career, man. Like, let's see what he's currently working on, dude. Let's just see. Yeah, look, he's an executive producer of this new TV series, Clans of the Alphane Moon. All right, who's attached to this? So he's an executive producer on this. It's an Amazon Prime show. So a new Amazon Prime show. Based on a novel by Philip K. Dick. So it's a new sci-fi comedy show. So he's EPing that right now. Okay, that's currently in production or development. That's in development. There's this Hypno thing that he's been doing. Look at all this. I don't even know what this is, what Hypno is. This is a Maxica Entertainment. This is probably a Latino show, probably like a Spanish show. Love You Forever, Did Not. I mean, look at all this stuff. Sonola's First Lady. Look, he's playing El Chapo. He's playing El Chapo in this new show coming out. That's in pre-production. This is what I mean. Like, man, and look, they're doing a Tu Wong Fu the musical. The Tu Wong Fu the musical. The musical. Tu Wong Fu the musical. That's crazy though. And that was kind of one of his first big roles, Tu Wong Fu. That's what I'm saying, man. Look what he's in right now. The Adventures of Drunky. Oh my God, that's hilarious. A new cartoon show. The Adventures of Drunky. That's hilarious. What is this? The Adventures of Drunky. Aaron Augenbick. Sam Rockwell. Jeffrey Tambor. Boo. Look, Steve Coogan's in this, though. Dave Attell. Tyler, the Creator. There's Leguizamo. Abby Elliott. John Glazer. Jay Farrow. Noel Wells. Dude. This is what I'm saying, dude. This is what I mean. Like, he works a lot. That's what I mean. Most celebrities, most actors, like John Leguizamo's a real actor. You know, he works a lot. That's why I say the ones that work a lot, you don't really hear about, you know? And look, the real reason why Shia Labeouf got so much more notoriety, I guess, if you want to call it that, but really it's just more publicity, is because he does all these publicity stunts. You know, Shia Labeouf is a publicity stunt. Like, he himself is a publicity stunt. You know what I'm saying? Like, at this point, he is the publicity stunt. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's him. You know, it's him. You know, he doesn't have to do anything crazy anymore. It's just him. Like, he's going to do something crazy. Like, we know that. Or not always crazy, but just, I mean, him being a saint. You're like, oh, now he's a saint. Like, he was a monk. I shouldn't say saint. He was a monk, right? Like, he was wearing the monk garbs. And again, a lot of that was because he was in a movie, as it turns out. But in the beginning, people just saw him going everywhere, like, dressed like a monk. And people were like, what the hell's going on? You know, so he himself, you know, he's kind of working. He's like his own publicist, you know, in a way, you know. Shia LaBeouf embodies the multiple spirits of Shia LaBeouf. Bro, you should think about sprinkling more acting super knowledge into your YouTube videos. Everyone could learn so much from you. You know, I tried to do that before. Yeah, maybe I'll try to work harder on how to do it. Because in the beginning, when I was first starting on making YouTube videos, so this was back in 2019, the first year I started putting out the YouTube videos about, you know, filmmaking and cameras and shit. And I was trying, I tried to make a couple about, you know, integrating acting into it, but I think, like, I just did a poor job at it or something, you know. So I know that would be my one twist that would be unique to me. That is why I should do it, really, because there's nobody else. There ain't no motherfucking other camera YouTuber that fucking been in SAG for, like, since 2011 and done all the shit I've done in terms of, like, acting and theater and shit. So that's for sure. That's 100% for sure. That is my one unique, like, thing about me compared to all of my, I guess, if you want to call them peers or competitors or whatever you want to call them. But yeah, you are right about that, Jason. I should figure out how I can integrate some of that. Yeah, dude, My Left Foot is so crazy of a movie. That's old school too, dude. My Left Foot. Yeah, man. Amazing actor. There's a crazy grab of it. Young, bro. Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis is absolutely different. I never realized any of this. I probably watched a ton of movies with him and didn't notice it was the same actor. Well, maybe, but he also hasn't done a whole lot of movies. He's very selective about the movies that he chooses to do. He's super selective about the movies he does. But yeah, the only ones where they were kind of similar, but really not, was when he did Gangs in New York. It's kind of... There are moments where you might think you see Daniel Plainview, which was his character from There Will Be Blood, but it's not. It's like, look at him. He's so completely different in this. This is probably one of his best roles too. Like, this is I wish I liked this movie more. Like, he was kind of like the saving grace of this movie. This is from Gangs in New York. I know that might be blasphemy for some of you because it was a Scorsese film, but I'm not in love with every single Scorsese movie. I wish I was, but I am just not. Like, this movie kind of sucks every now and then, but his character was like the one saving grace for me. Like, his character in this movie is so insane, and he got into it so much, they caught him. They caught him on set chopping up chickens, like cutting real chickens' heads off on set. Like, behind, like, they were trying to figure out where he was, and he's like hiding behind some trail, or like, I guess he had a chicken coop. I don't know the whole story, but I do know he got caught fucking with chickens, you know. But that's his character. He's a butcher in these, like, olden times, right? He's fucking Bill the Butcher or whatever his name was. So it's a wild movie, but there are moments where I'm just like, just not into it. But it is a good movie though. We should watch that again. See, that's why I got to get movie night going. I got to figure out how to do it. I gotta figure out how to do it, Trev. I thought about maybe I should do it the real old school way, like the actual Mystery Theater way, like just like point my camera at the TV screen and have little action figures like shooting over their shadows. But if I do it, I gotta figure out how I can get clean audio into it, because, like, we don't care if the image is a little off, but I do want, like, good audio. So that's what I want to figure out if we're gonna do the Dog Times Theater thing. Yeah, dude, you gotta. Yeah. I'm talking specifically about features and blockbuster movies. I'm not talking about shot the work resume which he has because he's brilliant. A musical of Tu Wong Fu is wild. I know, dude. What up, John 2000? Howdy, all you fine filmmakers and video aficionados and the ever go-to guy, Justin. What is going on, John? How's the work week going, my dude? We're just up here talking about. Really started down a rabbit hole with Shia Labeouf. Don't know if you saw his documentary Slauson Rec got premiered today at Cannes Film Fest, and people got to see his true character. It was also the first time Shia Labeouf got to see his true character being shown to live audiences along with him, because he approved the movie without actually watching it first. And then we started talking about John Leguizamo because, yeah, I get it. Trevor, to talk about that, like, to me, John Leguizamo, I'd said earlier how he's more of a working actor. So I guess that's what you're saying, like celebrity, this would be a topic of like celebrity versus working actor, which are two very different things, right? John Leguizamo, working actor, maybe sometimes a celebrity, but not like a real celebrity, right? John Leguizamo is more of a working actor, in my opinion. And so it's a big difference. And I think that has a lot to do with it, because celebrities, like people that devote their career to being a celebrity, yeah, they kind of do get more, dare I say, first pick of, what big budget blockbuster movies they want to be in. They definitely get, sent way more scripts and things. But, I also think it's a choice for someone of John Leguizamo's work history and his credit history and his talent. I think it's a choice of the actor themselves if they want to go full celebrity mode or if they want to be working actor mode. It's two very different things, and a lot of people don't actually realize it, but it's two very, very different things. Look what I just realized. Look at this. He's going to be playing Pablo Escobar in The Devil's Angel, it's called. He's Pablo Escobar. I just saw that right there. He's a producer and Pablo Escobar. So they're writing the script for that right now. As I mean, like he's all over the place, dude. He's a real working actor. Big difference, guys. When you're a celebrity, like who would be a great example of this? Like, I guess like who would be a really good example? I'm trying to just think of a really good example of someone that like actually is talented, and actually is an actor. Like you could maybe try to say like a Kardashian or something, but that doesn't count. Like they're not actors. Like they're not actors at all. Like I'm talking, and I know they are still some level of celebrity, but we're talking about actor celebrities, like celebrity actors. So I'm just trying to get a really good example, because in my opinion, when it's like someone like, okay, like what's his name? Chris Pratt, right? Chris Pratt is someone I look at as he's more of a celebrity than a working actor. And the funny thing is like the guy started out as a working actor, right? So you get to a point where, and I think this is true of all actors, right? Whether you're male, female, whatever you are, what gender or color you are, right? Like I think this is the thing with all actors, and you can see it. You can trace it back with anyone's career, right? Obviously, they all start out working actors, unless they're like something like a nepo baby, right? And there's definitely nepo babies, right? And if you don't know what that is, that you should know what that is, right? So it's like dare I say, someone like Sofia Coppola. Now I know she's not an actress, but she's more on the director side of things. But someone like her, she got lucky, right? Some of us, sometimes you get lucky. You're born into this, right? Like we're born into this world, right? But most of them start out as working actors, and if they get lucky, right, or AKA win the lottery, right, like Chris Pratt, like I don't know much of his career, but I'm pretty sure what broke him in was that TV show with Amy Poehler, right, the Parks and Rec, right? So he really started like taking the world by storm on that TV show, and then at some point he got brought into these franchises, right? And maybe that's a good way to identify where the celebrities exist, right? Because celebrities usually are tied to these franchises. And why is because they can sell the tickets, right? They're the faces that everybody knows because they're celebrities, right? But Chris Pratt didn't start out as a celebrity. They had to mold him into a celebrity, right? This is what they did to Marilyn Monroe. You know what I mean? Like, this is what they do. Like, if Hollywood finds someone, they figured out how to mold you and make you into what they want you to be, but again, it's not all the evil Hollywood, right? Like, it's the actor's choice as well. It's a choice they have to make. Now, the funny thing is, if you think about like Dave Chappelle, right? Dave Chappelle talked about this from a totally different standpoint, which I love. So if you ever want to watch a really good video about like, you know, Dave Chappelle's experience with Hollywood, is his what is the show with the guy that used to sit across from the table? What is it called? Like Inside the Actor Studio or something like that. I think it's called Inside the Actor Studio. They used to make spoofs of it on SNL, and Will Ferrell would play the host. I believe it's called Behind the Actor Studio. Anyways, I'll look it up in a minute. But on there, Dave goes into this really interesting theory of his where, you know, he says Hollywood there's a point where Hollywood wants black actors to put a dress on, right? But what's so crazy is it you know, and this could be like a conspiracy thing, right? Because I know we're treading very thin water here and I have to be careful about what I talk about, but it is just interesting. It's an interesting theory, and I encourage you to just watch some videos on it because you know, and then, you know, if I'm sure you all know of the Cat Williams viral video, he brings it up because it's a little bit true, right? And this is what I mean. Like a lot of the weird shit you hear about, it actually is a little bit true, you know? And I don't know how we got twisted around to that, but it was because of talking about how they mold, how they make celebrities, right? And they definitely, you know, a lot of people think that's what happened to Marilyn Monroe. Like that's, you know, a lot of people believe that Hollywood killed Marilyn Monroe. You know, you can only push a human being so far. And then, you know, you got to imagine back in those days, there weren't nearly as many rules and regulations and things. Anyways, Jay Farrow, yeah, he already did lots of crazy like that month of yelling at the wall. Yeah, Gangs in New York is an amazing film. Mystery Theater 3000. Yeah, that's what I was saying. What's up, that random hippie? Why is your message getting retracted? What's he talking about? Jason McCam, Kevin Bacon, working and celeb. Yeah, that's a really good one. You know, but even though, Jason, I wouldn't call Kevin Bacon a celebrity. I don't know why. And I know what you're saying, though. I know what you're saying. But look, he doesn't meet the criteria. Like, to my knowledge, I don't think Kevin Bacon has ever been part of a franchise. Has he? I don't think he has. And that's what I mean by, like, you know, celebrity is like the person that is fucking gonna sell the tickets, man. You know, that's celebrity. I mean, Kevin Bacon is amazing. Everyone, you know, there's that game like 7 Degrees or whatever of Kevin Bacon or whatever. Hands down, a very prolific, famous actor. But I don't believe I wouldn't put him in celebrity category. I just wouldn't, because he's not quite franchise material. You know what I mean? Like he's just not, you know. Chris Pratt is kind of always the same character. Yeah, and that's a thing with celebrities, Trevor. And I believe that's a trend with celebrities in general. They're always the same character because that's what they fall into, right? They stop being a working actor and they just start, dare I say, being the pawn, right? And it's mainly because you don't get to really be a true artist anymore. You know, you don't get to, when you're a huge celebrity, you got to go away for a while and then come back if you want to return to being a working actor. Do you know what I mean? Like if you want to be an artist again, dare I say, if you want to, or I should just say, if you want to take more daring or challenging roles or roles that people would turn their nose up to, or maybe, you know, take a double take on, you would have to take a long break. So Chris Pratt would have to stop doing all these franchise films, which he'd never do because it's too much money, right? But maybe one day he would. Let's say he would have to go away for a long time and then come back. And then come back and try to, you know, and try to do like the more artsy thing again, you know, do more like interesting, weird indie films and shit. Now, you know someone who's a great example of this? My fucking man, dude, Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling is a great example of someone that was celebrity, took a break for a while, and started. But you know, another thing, like he is like the mastermind. Now that I'm thinking about this, like Ryan Gosling seems to be the one guy that can just ping pong back and forth. You know who else could do it? Well, no, I think he's done it the most successful. I think Ryan Gosling, I was going to say maybe like Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp was pretty good at it, but Ryan Gosling, I feel like, is even better at it because honestly, guys, I think Ryan Gosling is a way better actor than Johnny Depp. I just do. I love Johnny Depp, but there's never been something that I watched of Johnny Depp and I thought, oh God, that was so good, dude. That was so good. I want to watch that again. Never. But with Ryan Gosling, like, dude, Drive is one of my all-time favorite movies of all time. I absolutely love this film. One of my favorite cinematographers, Newton Thomas Sigel, amazing cinematographer. One of my favorite directors, Nicholas Winding Refn. We have the same kind of color blindness. And Ryan Gosling's performance in this is so good. I mean, it's just and it's a movie that's just wild, man. And it's just amazing, man. It's just an amazing film. And Carey Mulligan's amazing in it. Oscar Isaac's amazing. They're all amazing. But that's what I mean is like he can do movies like that, which this is not like, you know, this is not a movie where, you know, this is a movie that you do for you. You know, this is like the artsy movie, right? And to think like this is the guy that came from the fucking Notebook, you know what I'm saying? And then he goes and does La La Land, you know, like he's a pretty good example of someone that is literally both celebrity and working actor. Great video on your camera support systems. I just am not sure I can carry one of those anymore to a location. The arms are just not there anymore. Oh, it's super light, John. Dude, it's super lightweight, bro. It's super lightweight. You guys, the FX6 is so lightweight. Hold on. I still have it right here. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. It is kind of a little heavy, but it doesn't feel too crazy. But that's why you got to get the easy rig, John. You just get that easy rig and you'll feel okay, man. You'll be like, ooh, this is nice. Takes all the weight off. Takes it all off. That's why I like the easy rig. Like some people are like, oh, he's too weak to hold the camera. Dude, I don't care, dude. I gotta hold that thing all day long. I mean, I don't have to, but I choose to. I was watching that again when I did that Roger Deakins video where he was talking about how being the operator is the best seat in the house when you're making a movie. It's like, dude, that's so true. You know, it's like, that is the best. And I think that's why I kind of drifted away from acting to start messing with cameras. Cause I'm like, man, I feel like the camera, you know, I had that same kind of feeling like what Deakins was talking about, where it's like, dude, that's the best place to be on set, like right behind the camera. But really you only get that, you know, like imagine him, you know, who he's working with. You know, I mean, he's working with mega stars, Roger Deakins, you know, so dude, could you imagine watching all of those amazing performances like right in your face? Could you imagine being on set every day for Shawshank Redemption and you just got like front row seats to like, you know, some of the best actors of all time. Speaking of Ryan Gosling, he did Blade Runner 2049. I mean, No Country for Old Men. Could you imagine watching those performances right in front of your face? You know, I mean, he's not joking about that. You know, he's, you know, yeah, that's an interesting topic, huh? Just being like front and center, dude, watching all those performances. Anyways, yes, dude, James Lipton. Thank you, John. James Lipton, Inside the Actor Studio. Yeah, dude. Such a golden show. R.I.P. Mr. Lipton. But yeah, Dave Chappelle's episode is probably one of the most watched episodes on that show. Yeah, dude. I've watched Chappelle talk about this many times. He used to have a full segment on it every comedy special. Yeah, I know. He kind of went downhill for me in terms of his comedy. I'm not into his comedy anymore, sadly. And you know what I think it is? You know what I think was the nail in the coffin for Chappelle's comedy? He fired, or I don't know if he fired, but they went separate ways, Neil Brennan. I just felt like that was the perfect combo. Like when Neil Brennan was writing for Chappelle, that was some of his golden years, you know. And then you notice when Neil started drifting off and doing his own stuff, for whatever reason, I don't know what happened, why they stopped working together. Maybe it was Neil. Maybe he got like kind of ego driven, and maybe he, you know, I mean, he definitely wanted to be in the spotlight. Like he ended up doing way more stand up after the Chappelle show. But I think he talked about it, right? Like I think he kind of had to, because like the Chappelle show was his job and now he lost his job. So he kind of just took it to his advantage. Like, yeah, I was the main writer of the Chappelle show. So next thing you know, he's doing all this stuff. But I think that was a poor choice of Dave Chappelle, because I just feel like his comedy nowadays is a little off the rails, in my opinion. You know, it's like before, like I think working with Neil kind of like somehow grounded him a little bit, or had a different like spin on it, or I don't know. That's just my theory, though. That's just my theory. It's also true that maybe Dave Chappelle is just like he's getting old and relaxed and lazy, and he just doesn't want to try anymore. You know, he's like, you know, he's like ready to hand the baton down. You know, it could be one of those things too. His comedy just seems a little lazy now, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Maybe Joe Pesci, usually the same roles, and you only know him because of the feature film resume. Maybe Joe Pesci, yeah, but he's not franchise material, bro. No. He is huge though. Don't get me wrong. Drive is a work of art, and I love the soundtrack too. 100%, dude. I absolutely love this. Dude, everything about Drive. You know what, guys? It might be my favorite movie of all time, dude. Honestly, it might be my favorite movie of all time. All time. Man, should I do a video on Drive? I should do a video on Drive. I think I'm going to, guys. I think you guys inspired me to do a video on this movie. I'm gonna talk about everything with it though. You know what's sad? I did that with Seven. Seven's like one of my favorite movies, and I was so excited about the video. I worked on that for like a month, and it just didn't get any views, guys. It didn't get any views. It's been out for so long. I'm gonna show it to you guys because if anybody's new here and you're a fan, but there are spoilers, so I apologize for that. There's spoilers in the video, but I mean, come on, we all should have seen Seven by now. It's this one right down here on my slept on playlist. You like that? I call it the slept on playlist. The thumbnail says how to master contrast. It's got Brad Pitt on the front of it. It's a black and white. Maybe that's why it didn't do well. It's a black and white photo. I've noticed that. But I don't know. This one is a black and white photo and has 13,000. Anyways, there's only 3,200 views on this video, guys. It's been up for a year. This video has been up for a year. I was so disappointed when this video didn't do well. Funny enough, I shared a couple clips of it on Instagram, and those clips went huge. Some of them have like 500,000 views. So it's just weird, like what does well on Instagram and what doesn't, and then, you know, vice versa on the YouTube world. Anyways, yeah, if you guys love Seven, I recommend you watch that. I did a big deep dive on Seven, and it's pretty good. Just because, you know, I put a lot of real research into it. You know, I read actual books. Anyways, but yeah, I think you guys inspired me to do one on Drive because of that. Now, where did it go? Here it is. Because, man, I absolutely love this movie. I reference this movie a lot when I like do breakdown videos and also on the Patreon. I don't think I've ever even broken this down on the Patreon. Look at that bokeh though. It's all over the place, dude. But dude, Newton Thomas Sigel, guys, he's the GOAT. I don't know if you guys ever seen Cherry. Cherry's an amazing movie too, insane movie. And yeah, Newton Thomas Sigel is one of those DPs that just has a very, I think he has a very unique style that is easy to spot, you know. And I know that's what a lot of DPs try to avoid, but with him, it's a little hard, you know. Newton Thomas Sigel, I mean, but look, this is just, these images are gorgeous, dude. He's really, really good. Super talented guy. And he lights kind of very, you know, oh, John, thank you so much, brother. Should buy some coffee shots depending on where you get your Java. Dude, you know what I do, John? I have an AeroPress, dude. I have an AeroPress. Bro, AeroPress coffee. If you guys haven't tried AeroPress, it's cool. I'm addicted to it. It's kind of a bummer because it's not like a quick way to get coffee, but it's almost nice because it's like a morning meditation, you know, to AeroPress your coffee. It's kind of cool. Marianne found it. We've had it for months. I absolutely love it. I love it. It somehow tastes so fresh. Before that, we were doing the K-Pods thing, but this is so rad. I remember I wanted that jacket so bad too, that Scorpion jacket. I was such a nerd, dude. Yeah, dude, I love this movie. You know what another good one is that he's in? The Place Beyond the Pines. The Place Beyond the Pines is insane too, man. And you know what's funny? There's a little story about The Place Beyond the Pines. And it's funny because, oh damn, I went back too far, guys. It's funny because Ryan Gosling, let me just, give me a minute to pull it up here. I might consider him more celebrity than working actor, though I think he's a damn good performer. Who, Joe Pesci? Again, I don't think he's a celebrity. The Rock is definitely more celebrity than actor. 100%. Now you're right on that one. How do you feel about Homelander, The Boys? The Boys? Oh yeah, I've never watched that, but I worked on a, funny you bring that up. I worked on a pilot that that was inspired by The Boys. And, you know, the sad part is I didn't even watch The Boys. I did study the grabs a lot, though. You know, like I observed how they were lighting it. I think I watched a couple trailers. Actually, I know I watched a couple trailers, but I never watched the show. And so this was a pilot I shot a few years ago. This is called For the Love of God. This is just a teaser of it that's on my website. It's very DIY. You can tell it's very low budge. Shot this on the Komodo and the Zeiss Milvis lenses. But this was inspired by The Boys, so that's the only reason why I bring this up. But yeah, so these two guys are the creators, co-writers of it, and they play like, you know, you can watch the teaser stuff. I got a couple teasers of it on my older website. If you go to justinphillip.net, but this is my newer site, justinfilm.com. The resolution of this is really, really low because they literally like texted me this. They texted it to me, and so I just I just saved it and, because I don't care. Guys, I don't care. When it comes to websites and shit, I don't care. Like, I'm just like, yeah, it's cool. I'm gonna put that on there, and it's super low res. But anyways, but yeah, I watched the trailers and stuff. It's a show that I'm just not into, talking about The Boys. Just not really into that kind of style of show. I'm not big into, like, it looked like a superhero show of some kind, and that's just not really my thing. But it looks like a nice show, like the way it's done and lit and everything. What am I looking for? The Place Beyond the Pines. So there's a cool story about this movie. This is a wild movie too, man. This movie's insane, by the way. So yeah, Derek Cianfrance, he's the same director that did Blue Valentine. So that's how him and Gosling started working together. Blue Valentine, it's a crazy movie as well. But apparently, I guess, I don't know if this is true or not, but Ryan Gosling was at a party with the director of Blue Valentine, and he told him that, he was like, hey man, you should write a movie where I'm a guy that rides dirt bike and I rob a bank. And, he basically told the whole story. Like, he basically told the whole, like, not the whole story, but like his character story to the director. So apparently, like, Gosling came up with this character, and then the director wrote the rest of the movie. Interesting. And it's also interesting to know that, and then know that, like, Gosling's not really in the movie, So it is kind of funny. But yeah, crazy story. I don't know. Anyways, Easy rig, I've got one, but check this out. This is what I want to get: the Hilti Eco T22 tool balancer. No country. John says No Country for Old Men was a magnificent movie for what they did not say verbally, but the way they acted in the looks. Yeah, dude, 100%, John. Yeah, dude, I forgot Ray Liotta was in this, wasn't he? Wait, which movie was Ray Liotta in? He was in The Place Beyond the Pines, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. Yep, you're right. He was. Yeah, dude. Ray Liotta's the man, dude. Goodfellas. I cannot tell you how many times I watched Goodfellas when I was in college and shit. Actually, I think I started watching it in high school. Obsessed with Goodfellas. Okay, hold up though, guys. But yeah, you are right on that, John. The way, yeah, and Javier Bardem. Oh my God, he's an animal, dude. This guy is one of my favorite actors, dude. I love Javier Bardem. Yeah, he made the whole movie for me. I mean, I know Tommy Lee Jones is a goat, and I love everything Josh Brolin does. It was just a great cast talking about No Country, but man, Javier Bardem, there's just no challenge. This guy, even this movie, I wasn't even that into this movie, this Mother movie. But he's just so good. Like, I'll watch anything he's in. I absolutely love the dude, man. He's so good. He's a really good actor, man. Just so amazing. But yeah, you're exactly right. When you're talking about, like, there's an old joke from the theater world where it's like, make faces, not choices. And like, that's not a good thing, right? Obviously you want to make choices. Don't make faces. When talking about acting and performing. But Javier Bardem, he's just like, he's the poster child of making choices. You know what I mean? Like, that dude makes choices because he's just so grounded in everything he does. These are really weird press photos. I've never seen this thing, though. He looks insane in this. The Counselor? I don't even know what the hell that is. Anyways, I wanted to look up what Jason's talking about. The Hilti, let me see what you're talking about, dude. The Hilti Echo T22. I don't even know what the hell this is. Tool balancer? Wait, this is for like people that work? Like in construction? Dude, what the hell, dude? Wow, it's like cheaper than an Easy Rig, but dude, it does not look... Oh, right, this is like the tool company at Home Depot. That's hilarious. Belt size. Maximum load is 37.5 pounds. 37.5 pounds. Holy shit, dude. All right, let's look at this thing. Whoa, let's mute that. Look at this thing. Oh, yeah. So isn't Hilti kind of like the more like cheap tool brand, though? I thought they were like the wannabe DeWalt or whatever. Look at this thing, though. They basically built an Easy Rig. Wow, dude, they kind of ripped him off, huh? They kind of ripped him off a little bit, huh? I mean, that's literally what they did. Dude, these guys saw the camera guys out there and they're like, we need that for our tools. Yeah, dude, that's what they did. It looks way too heavy, though. Like, it looks way heavier than an Easy Rig. Yeah, look, it's 17 pounds. Dude, this thing weighs 17, almost 18. Well, no, it weighs 17 pounds. So, like, if I bring up Easy Rig, let's just go to B&H and see how much the Easy Max weighs, because I bet that has a lot to do with it. Weight will be a big game changer, dude. So if we put an Easy Rig here, yeah, so here's the Mini Max. But look, the payload isn't shit compared to that thing. You can only, well, look, 15 pounds on the Easy, but this is the most affordable, smallest one, right? But this is fine. This holds Komodo, no problem. FX6, no problem. So let's see how much the actual unit weighs. Sometimes you got to go way down here in the specs and see, like way down here, load capacity, weight. Yeah, see, the whole thing only weighs 5 pounds, dude. 5 pounds versus this, 17 pounds. That's a big difference on your back all day. 5 pounds versus 17. No way, dude. Plus, this thing just looks too gnarly, dude. Like, look, like, if you accidentally back up into a wall wearing that thing, you're gonna destroy someone's wall, dude. You know, I mean, this thing is gnarly looking. Yeah, you definitely would feel like a transformer wearing that thing, though. I don't know, try it out. But I think I'd be too nervous for the weight and just the build. I mean, look, I also don't like this. Like, you notice how, like, this shoots up and out, like it, you know what I'm saying? Like this back brace, see how it juts out? Like, it's not straight up and down. And that's what I'd be afraid of, like, hitting something when you're backing up. Because I back into things occasionally, and the Easy Max is, see how it's so much different? Like, it goes up and over, it doesn't go back. But even this little turtle shell right here, you'll occasionally back into things with the turtle shell, but this thing is just insane looking. But this is what I don't like. But I also don't like the weight. But yeah, man, if you're gonna try it out, make a video about it. That'd be hilarious, dude. That would be a funny video. I bet a lot of people would watch that video. But that's gonna be an expensive video. That's $2,200. Yeah. Yeah, if you want to be able to walk when you're in your 50s, the Easy Rig is the move. Yeah, I just love it. I've had mine for years, dude, and I just let it hang. I love it. I got it with the quick release. Oh, this one comes with the quick release. Mine was a normal one, and then I had to put the quick release on myself because I bought it separately. Hexagonal bokeh, what the hell lens was that? Yeah, dude, so I was going to look that up, but I got caught off track, dude. Let me look up Drive real quick, and we can go back and see what the details were on this real quick here. I forget, I used to know this. This is how much I used to be obsessed with this movie. Yeah, the Cooke S4s. But look, that was in the car. And I did read an article in ASC that said they used the Angino Optimo lenses. Yeah, they used the zoom lenses for the car scene. And those shots were when he was in the car that we were looking at when the bokeh was gnarly. So that's from the Anginos. Yeah, I remember reading that in ASC. Yeah, that's funny. I remember doing a lot of research on this, and then I guess I just never did the video. I don't know why. Yeah, maybe I should do the video then. I'll do it like my Deakins one, because that one did surprisingly well. I don't know if you guys saw my newest video, the Roger Deakins one. It's doing pretty good. And, you know, honestly, I just sat here at the desk, but, you know, don't get it twisted. I had to watch and listen to so many interviews and podcasts. Like, it was a lot of, like, listening and screen grabbing and shit like that. Where's that shot now where he's in the car, dude? Can't find it. Oh, it's this one right here. Yeah. Yeah, so those are the Anginos. I'm almost certain that's what Thomas Newton Siegel said in the, or Newton Thomas Siegel, I think he said that in the ASC, that when they did the car rig, they would use zooms. AeroPress for the win. Yeah, dude. Did you end up picking out that Creed song you were talking about for your next skate part? No, dude, I hate Creed. Oh, man. Have you ever tried script writing, by the way? Yeah, Marianne and I co-wrote a lot of our little stuff, like our short films. We write most of our stuff. Actually, we write everything we do. I got a couple short films on Amazon. If you dare want to pay $1 to watch a short film, I'll show you this one right here. This one, maybe, I don't know. This one is the one I prefer, but it's not really like, it's a proof of concept. I don't even know why I put it on Amazon Prime. It's just a proof of concept, but whatever. I mean, it makes like $1 a month. It's called You Have Arrived. But there is another more like full short film that, and I directed these too, but Marianne and I wrote those. and then I produced them. Obviously, it's like my full thing. That movie right there, that you have arrived one. That was the first thing I did when I started like realizing like, man, you know, this was in 2016, as you'll notice, right? So I really wanted to be a director. So I was like, I'm gonna stop acting and I'm gonna be a director. So this was like my first attempt at like directing, like an actual little production. You know, I had some money from some commercials I'd done that year, and from some other work. And so I dropped like $7,000 into this short film when it was all said and done. I dropped a lot of money into this. This is my buddy John Schweigart. Now this is back in 2016, but you can see he shot this on the original Blackmagic. So that's the OG. Remember that one? That's the original Blackmagic cinema camera. That's what he shot it on. And John's amazing though, dude. I mean, just look at some of these grabs. They're so yeah, it went to some festivals and stuff. But so sorry. I thought I had more screen grabs on here, but apparently I don't. I just have a bunch of images of the thing. But anyways, yeah, I can show you some of the, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, John's really good. Like, he's one of my favorite cinematographers locally here. And I met him from my acting career. I was in a Hulu pilot that he shot, and that was pretty cool. And I thought, man. So anyways, I really wanted to be a director, and it didn't really work out because I got obsessed with the camera. I was like, dude, I don't know anything what John is doing on that camera. And I became so obsessed with that I was like, I need to learn cinematography if I want to be a good director. That was my thought process. I was like, I have to learn cinematography if I want to be a good director. I know that may not sound, that may not make sense to a lot of people, but that was just where my brain was at the time. So, and I think it's just because I knew acting so well. I knew acting like the back of my hand. And I just felt like I wanted to know the camera just as well as I knew acting. But man, that's what started the rabbit hole, guys. I never got out of the rabbit hole, and then I just became obsessed with cameras and cinematography. But this was the second one we made. So this one I actually really like. And the funny thing is, this one cost almost nothing to make because it was a lot of favors and like people just wanting to work with us and stuff. Actually, the guy that did both the posters, he's the guy. It's Justin Harder. He does all the artwork for SNL. What's it called? Weekend Update. He does all the artwork for Spider-Man. Like he's a real well-known artist, and he's just a guy I know from my acting career. I met him in my acting career, and he agreed to do the posters for us. So this is like maybe one day we could like sell these posters or something. That would be killer, dude. But this artwork is amazing, and this was taken from an actual screen grab that John got. And this is another one that I directed. So I directed this, and Marianne and I both co-wrote it. These are just a lot of behind the scenes photos. I was obsessed with that, you know, like, oh yeah, I'm directing. So at this point, this was the following year, and now John upgraded to the Ursa. I think it was the Ursa Mini or something. But anyways, this is more of like a full, complete beginning end kind of short film. But yeah, they're both on Amazon. You know, we're just talking about it because he asked if I wrote anything. Crooked Cop. Crooked Cop. Oh yeah, Ray Liotta was the Crooked Cop. Oh yeah, the Hilti's hilarious. No, Hilti is for high-end demo. Hilti is the Ferrari of tools. No, that's not true. Why did I think that they were like the generic tool? I didn't know they were the Ferrari of tools. Hilti experiences unexplained surge in sales after YouTube video. Yeah, dude, I think so. Dude, if I just had money to blow, you know for sure I'd make a video using that dumb thing. That would be hilarious. You have arrived. Those are some nice screen grabs. Yeah, dude. Schweigart's the man, dude. Dude, I still have my BMCC on my shelf, a relic that still shoots good video. John Hale the Third is in the house. Dude, John's the man, dude. We got to see, you got to share some of your photos of your collection, John. He was dropping some photos in the Discord today of his, yeah, congrats on that too, by the way, John. His Nikon lens set. Don't worry, Justin, when we crash into Sundance one day, you can be the director. Make sure the PA has bail money. Oh, that's another thing. You guys didn't know that, did you? Sundance is moving. Yeah, so I saw an article on this. That's funny you bring that up. Sundance will no longer be in Utah. Yeah, this is right. I forgot about this. Yeah, did you see this? The Sundance Film Festival, after more than 40 years in Utah, will move to Boulder, Colorado, starting in 2027. The Sundance Institute, the organization behind the festival, made the decision to relocate after considering financial incentives and other factors offered by Boulder. So look at that. Boulder started offering them more incentives, and they're leaving. That's so crazy because it's just weird, man. It's got to be one of those weird things like imagine if like Dodger Stadium moved somewhere else or something. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those weird things where I don't know, man. It's just so strange. But that's how it goes, man. Now they're going to be in Boulder. I've never been to Sundance ever. Did you ever go to Sundance?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. A lot of our friends have. That's why I asked her, because a lot of our friends go to Sundance. And some of our friends have actually had movies play in Sundance. That's crazy. Wow, they're moving to Colorado. Yeah, dude, 100%. Bottom out. I just had a simple question on Leguizamo, and here we are an hour later. Yeah, that's what I love, dude. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I need some sort of a podcast situation.
The sad thing about Sundance going to Colorado is it's going to be a lot harder for people to get there from Los Angeles, because you can drive to Sundance from Los Angeles. You can't drive to Colorado reasonably. So I think a lot of like more small time people are going to have a harder time going. Well,
now everybody knows where I live.
Yeah.
I pulled up the maps. I should have done it like this, like distance from Los Angeles to Sundance, right? They do it in Sundance, Utah. Oh my, right down the road from me. I wonder how you get the invite when no one knows you. Dang, John, you live in Boulder? So yeah, I see what she's saying. So look at this. So yeah, you can go 9.5 hours, but yeah, it is kind of like a straight shot. Like you just go from LA, you shoot through Vegas, and then you go all the way up here. That's like 9.5 hours versus Boulder, Colorado. Oh yeah, it is further out, almost 15 hours. But the weird thing is, it looks like you would go through Boulder. It looks like you would go through Sundance to get to Boulder.
Yeah, so basically it goes from a 1-day drive to a 2-day drive.
A 1-day drive to a 2-day drive. But you know what? I feel like most people going there would be flying anyways.
No, tons
Really?
of people drove to Sundance.
Really?
Yeah, everyone I know who went to Sundance, they always drove.
They always drive?
Yep.
Whoa, I didn't know that. She's saying that most people always drive from LA to Sundance. So yeah, that's going to kill it then. They're going to have to like spend like way more money.
It's not going to kill it, but it's just going to make it so it's more cost prohibitive for people, you know? So
yeah, more expensive.
People with less money are going to be less likely to go.
Yeah. I feel like most people going to Sundance probably have the money to blow though. Maybe.
No, I don't
Not the
think so.
actors and stuff. There are a lot of actors that just want to go.
And filmmakers in general.
Filmmakers in general just like to go.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I didn't know that. I thought you only went. I thought you only went if like you had like something going on there.
No, people like that draws a big crowd.
It's like a networking event.
Yeah, and just like a cool event that people like to
go to.
Yeah, you know.
I didn't know that. I guess I didn't ever realize that. Yeah, dude. Oh, Trevor, you're in Boulder too? What the hell? All you guys are in Colorado? Utah raised taxes and pushed film studios, and now Sundance out of state. Yeah, that is crazy. You know what? The Mormon Church might be behind that. She is right. The weather is also going to make Sundance and Boulder a headache to travel to. Yeah, dude, I imagine it's way worse over there, huh? Well, just it's going to be hard to travel in those circumstances.
The Rocky Mountains.
Through the Rocky Mountains during the wintertime? Because they do it when it's snowing, right?
Yeah.
They better change that shit to summer. I hate the snow, but I guess there's a lot of people that love the snow, but that's going to be horrible driving conditions. YouTuber trying to use technology accidentally doxes himself. Yes, dude, damn it. Now all the Cam Mackey supporters are going to come for my head. Dude, I'm just entering the video rabbit hole now. This one? In Colorado, you have some serious mountain passes with crap roads. Dude, I've never driven through that part of America. We should do that. But not in the wintertime. I want to do it in the summertime.
Which part?
Did we go through Colorado when we came back?
No, remember we strategically didn't.
Oh, we avoided it.
Our RV was dying.
We were worried about our RV overheating because it kept overheating. We got stranded in Kansas for a week, dude.
So we stuck to the flattest routes we could find.
That's right. So we were in Kansas. That's right. And we took a beeline south. So we were like, why is my mouse working? We were in Kansas. This is where we got stranded, somewhere in the middle of Kansas. And you know what was messing with my head so bad? There's Kansas, Missouri, and then there's Kansas. and then there was like 2 towns right on the state line that had the same name too, right? Like I was so confused where we were all the time.
It's like the same city, but it just goes across state lines.
That's right. The same city goes across both. Yeah, it's confusing as hell. Anyways, we got stranded in Kansas for like a week, and the place we got stranded in was gnarly. It was so crazy. It was so crazy, guys. I was afraid to document it. That's how weirded out I was. I felt like I was in a Harmony Korine movie. like
the trailer park?
yeah, the trailer park that we got stranded in because we just needed a place to like park our RV for the weekend. And we didn't want to like, dude, where we were was gnarly, guys. And we didn't want to like leave it. We didn't want a street park, you know? So we usually try to find a campground. And the campground we found was so gnarly, man. I was afraid to document it. I mean, I could have. I'm sure it would have been fine, but I don't know why I was being weird. I think you want to know why? Like, I'm more weirded out about like Southern stuff because I'm from Florida, like a million times more than I am going to like Skid Row or somewhere in downtown LA. Like, I have no problems walking down some weird, creepy alley in downtown LA. But like, for some reason, if I'm in somewhere that looks like, I don't know, dude, like banjos are playing or something, I get weirded out, man. And this place definitely was weird. It definitely was very strange.
It looked like the place outlaws go to live.
Yeah, I think it was the place outlaws go to live, honestly. But not like cool outlaws, like scary outlaws. Like the kind that like probably do weird shit, dude. But it was it was weird, man. But yeah, so we had to go we went straight down. So we bypassed all of that. Yeah, we went down the Oklahoma Panhandle and then shot across. Yeah, because we went right back through Albuquerque and all of that. Yeah, we'll eventually have all these videos out, guys. maybe not. Probably not. Who knows? We didn't really shoot any video there. That's why I feel like the last leg of our journey just fell off because we had Marianne did a good job of filming all the drama of the RV breaking down quite often, though. That's for sure. Dude, at one point we were going, I had to get off the freeway, and you know what's weird? I don't know. We must have been in Missouri or Kansas or one of the two. To get off the freeway, you got to pay the toll again to get off. And I was like, what the hell is this? And of course, like, so the way the RV was, anytime it slowed down, it would stall out. And sometimes it wouldn't start up for like another half hour. So I'm like, oh no, I got to slow down for the toll. And sure enough, that bitch cut off right when I was right at the toll, dude, right where you go to pay. And I'm like, no, dude. But there was no human in there. It was just like a button you press. So I'm like hitting the button. I'm like, hello. I'm like, we can't move. The RV won't start. And I remember the person through the intercom was like, your RV won't start. Dude, it was so funny, man. Anyways, we got off on our tangent there. Let's see. In Colorado, yeah. Crappy roads and mountains is not a good combo. I could picture it being a pilgrimage with a bunch of friends via car or van. Yeah, that would be cool too, like a road trip with all your actor filmmaking buddies. Boulder is easy. Rocky Mountain Airport right next to Boulder, and DIA is only 40 minutes away. What's DIA? What's DIA, John? Trevor's in Boston. Dude, you're in Boston. We went to Boston.
Yeah, Boston's really cool.
We that was one of our places we went through. Documented it very briefly. I wanted to spend more time in Boston, but I had no way of getting my RV down there. Winter road conditions to Boulder, you'd want to go the southern route. What would be the southern route? Like go through Arizona, New Mexico, and then push up? I guess you could do that, huh? Go through Arizona, New Mexico, and then just drive up from New Mexico. Boulder is also going to have a headache housing all the attendees when they come for the festival. They don't have as large of a quantity of hotels and Airbnbs either. Then what the fuck are they talking about incentives?
That's the other thing is like Sundance has been built out for this over the decades. Like,
yeah, so what are they thinking? Well, they're saying that Boulder would provide more, but now these people are saying it has less.
Provide more money, probably.
Provide more money, but nowhere for everyone to stay. It'll be like the Coachella epidemic. Oh man, that's crazy, man. Wow, that's crazy. Cam Mackey Mafia shows up wearing cowboy hats at Justin's door with fingerless gloves made from deer hide. John's writing his little short film over there.
Slingshots they'll bring.
Yeah, they'll bring slingshots. I always stay strapped up with the burner. Kansas is the flattest place I've ever been. I swear I felt like I could see across the entire state. Hey, that was one of the cool parts though. I kind of liked how flat it was, but it was so hot when we were there. That's probably why the RV kept fucking dying, dude. It was so hot when we were there.
It just was hot and bleak. It just looked like the most uninteresting place you've ever been in your entire life.
Easy. There might be some people from there in here.
Everyone I met from Kansas says the same thing.
They do. Yeah, that's true. Because our buddy, one of our actor friends is from Kansas, and oh, he wrote a great feature film too. We were supposed to do it. I don't know what happened, but
Yeah, that fell through.
I don't know, but I don't know what happened, but maybe he went with someone else. But anyways, it's just like, dude, like, yeah, everyone we know from Kansas, they talk shit about it too. That is true. I grew up in the South, and I feel you on the spidey sense tingling in southern states. It really is, man. It's weird. And you know what the funny thing is too? I was just telling Marianne this too. I'm like, dude, Florida's not even a technically true southern state. So like, you know, as soon as we would cross into Georgia, I'd be like, oh shit, we're in Georgia, guys. Or like when you go to like Mississippi, you're like, fuck. Or the worst was Alabama. You're like, oh no, I'm in Alabama, dude. And I'm from Florida. So it's just kind of weird. Like you're like, yeah, the southern states weird me out sometimes. Toll booth stories are the best. I knew a girl whose door fell off when she paid the toll. That's Tommy Boy style. Richard, what did you do when the door falls off? Denver International Airport. That's what, yeah, Denver International Airport. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine because now that's like a second day of travel, I would imagine a lot more people are going to fly.
That is a really nice airport, though, I will say.
The DIA is?
Yeah.
Yeah, Marianne used to be a flight attendant.
And that was one of the best airports to get stuck at.
Why? What's so cool about it?
It just has so many, like, comfortable amenities and stuff.
Really? I wonder if more people will be able to attend the festival in Denver because it seems like a smaller town, less resources in Sundance, Utah. You think more people will be able to attend the festival in Denver? Oh, rather than Boulder. Oh, right. Anyone here born in Kansas, we apologize. Yeah, dude, I know. Boulder is home to CU, and if you want a lot of rich people to be in attendance, that will do it. Can you imagine the films? Wait, what's CU?
Huh?
What's CU? John said Boulder is home to... What's CU, John? Florida is not a southern state, but they definitely have southern state tendencies. Yeah, sprinkled on with a little bit of insanity and chaos. Oh man, there are tons of resources in Utah that kept Sundance going. The problem was that the state of Utah started wanting more money. 2015 was the last good year of Sundance. Really? You think...
It's the University of Colorado.
University of Colorado.
Boulder.
Well, Colorado's University, CU. 2015 was the last good year of Sundance? Why, Lorax? 2015, that was a really long time ago, dude. If that was their last good year, then they needed to move. In 2016, Utah told the Sundance Institute to stop the parties. They also started taxing the celebrity gift bags. Taxing the celebrity gift bags?
Oh, I believe the party thing. They probably...
The town people?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like in my head when I think, I don't know why, I've never been to Sundance, but when I think of Sundance, there's a part of my head that thinks about Gatlinburg. And they just, the pictures kind of look similar to me. You know, Gatlinburg's always partying down too, you know?
Yeah, but like debauched celebrities.
Yeah, not debauched celebrities. Debauched celebrities is the cool part though. Oh man, that's funny, dude. I've driven past there about 4 times. It's kind of on the edge up there above Provo. Sundance is above Provo? I don't know, dude. I've never even been to Utah. Or no, I did a murder mystery show in Utah. Guys, when I first moved to LA, I was like, I did all of these weird touring comedy murder mystery dinner shows. Dude, we even did one at Fergie's house for her 40th birthday party. We used to do them all over the place. And I remember one of the first ones I did was in Utah all by myself. And they had to fly me out there. And this was when I first came to LA. And I was still trying to fix my life a little bit when I first came here. And this is like over a decade ago. This is a really long time ago. And I remember I didn't have a license yet because I was still like, patching up some stuff. And I remember they were like, okay, when you get off at the airport, then you'll go to Hertz or wherever and you'll rent this car. This is the info. And I was like, oh, about that. I was like, I don't have a driver's license. And they were so pissed. They were like, how old are you? I was like, that's a rude thing to say. But either way, yeah, they ended up having to pay for an Uber to take me to the not just my hotel, but then to take me to the venue as well to do my one-man show and then back to the hotel. But you know, back then, like, you know, I'm like half homeless. I don't even have a license. I'm like, ooh, this is nice. I'm luxury. I'm getting Ubered to my one-man show. I'm in Utah. I'm like living the life. I don't know how we got down that rabbit hole. The town of Sundance is not where the festival is at. Where is it at, dude? I don't know anything about it. Oh, my mistake. The festival is in Park City. That's right, Park City, Utah. I remember now, Park City, Utah. The Institute is based out of Sundance. Get the movie streaming thing figured out so we can watch one of your films. Oh, you know what? We probably can watch it because, yeah, we should. Yeah, we'll do that for sure. Sundance was a name, not the actual location of the festival. Guess who named it Sundance? Oh, I thought you were going to say, I thought that actor came up with it. What's the... Robert Redford, right? I thought Robert Redford came up with the idea to call it Sundance. Yeah, named it Sundance after Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Interesting. Is that true? Is that true? I don't know why all my stuff is in all caps. Also, by the way, where is Robert Redford? Is he still around, dude? What happened to that guy?
He's alive.
He's alive? He hasn't done anything in forever.
Oh, he's like 90 years old.
He's 90 years old?
Or he's got to be up there.
Yeah, dude, that's his company. He's the president and founder of the Sundance Institute. Holy shit. But look what's so funny, guys. Their address is Wilshire Boulevard in LA. Their headquarters aren't even anywhere in Utah. Wildwood Enterprises, so he owns Wildwood Enterprises. It's probably a production company. William Morris is his talent agent. He's got some of the biggest agencies in the world, dude. This guy is huge. Oh, look, he's producing a TV show right now. They're writing the script for it. It's called The Burgess Boys. Guess that's what he's working on right now. That's cool. He's still making shit. Robert Redford, old Mr. Blue Eyes. Yeah, you want to see him? Come over here, old Mr. Blue Eyes. There he is. Yeah, dude. He was the man. Look, he looks kind of like Brad Pitt a little bit. He kind of looks like Brad Pitt. Well, they both have blue eyes, so, you know, it both works. Look at this old one. Creepy, dude. This month, MCA deals you not only 2 jacks, but 3 queens and an ace. Could you imagine seeing this and being like, yeah, that's the movie I'm going to go watch? Not in a million years, dude. This is weird. This looks like a Mad TV thing. It's so funny. Like Mad Magazine. That's hilarious, man. Yeah, Paul Newman and Robert Redford. Well, I think they did. Didn't they do a lot of stuff together? I think they came up together, you know? Robert Redford is one of the producers on Dark Winds. Just watched it. Dark Winds? Hold up. Let me see what that is. Never heard of Dark Winds. What's that on? Oh, right. This right here? Executive producer. Oh, and he's in it. This is from 2022. 4 seasons. Dude, it looks kind of dated, though. Oh, yeah. This is the Native American show. Yeah, I actually did want to watch this, dude. They're all like cops, right? Wait, maybe I started watching this. I think we started watching the first season of this. Yeah, because this guy's awesome. He's in our other show, Reservation Dogs. I think we started watching this. There's 4 seasons, though. This is cool. I like Native American stuff, man. And I like that. Look, it's Bruce Greenwood. Interesting. I forgot about the show. Yeah, this guy's in Reservation Dogs. Huh. Yeah, I don't think, man, I vaguely remember this. I feel like we started watching it and then probably just kind of like forgot. There's just like so much stuff to watch. I was going to say the actual show, these grabs look way better than that poster. I mean, these grabs look good, but I guess it makes sense. Like this does feel kind of period, right? Like look what they're wearing. This feels like it's just like in a different era. But these grabs look nice. Look at this. This is weird. Let's just talk about cinematography for a minute. So look at this. There's this shot, right? And then there's this shot. Now I know these are just screen grabs in a collage, but doesn't this feel like this is the same scene? Like look at the outfit of the girl she's talking to. Look at her outfit. Look at their outfits. This is the same scene. Maybe this was on a Steadicam, but this was not on a Steadicam because notice, both times they're shooting into the shadow. Isn't that funny? Now, this is what we always talk about, you know, that it doesn't matter. There's no continuity when it comes to lighting, guys. This is a prime example of this. Look at this shit, right? Like, look, shooting into the shadow on the left shoulder. Also, by the way, they totally crossed the 180. And then here, they're still shooting into the shadow. You know what I mean? So even if this was a thing where they did it in camera, which hopefully they did, and what I mean by in camera, you know what I mean? I mean by like they had it on steady or something, or dolly, where they move past this lady, right? Because that's the only way to like cross the line. Like you have to cross line while you're recording. You know, you have to film the act of crossing line, or else it's going to be too jarring. But notice this. Notice how down her camera side became. Like, look there. It's like a stop difference, right? Now, I know these are just random screen grabs, but come on, this looks like the same exact scene, right? So this had to have been a thing where as the dolly or whatever it is going past this gal's shoulder, someone is Hollywooding a floppy or something, walking that in. That's the only way to do that. So that's really bizarre that that they would do that, jump the line like that, and then, you know, be like, well, I mean, that's someone that's dedicated to being like, no, we will shoot into the shadow side. Tell John to grab that floppy and walk it in. I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay. Anyways, Dark Winds. Yeah, dude, seems like a good one. We're gonna find out that Robert Redford is Brad Pitt's secret father, like Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. Brad Pitt, his best movie, Meet Joe Black. You think so, huh, John? Meet Joe Black is Brad Pitt's best movie? John, I love you, dude, but I don't agree with you on that one. But what I will say is, Meet Joe Black, I have an interesting connection with this movie. Because in 2006, I was ran over by a car in 2006. And what happens to Brad Pitt's character, Meet Joe Black, is honestly the same way that the car hit me. My body did the same thing Brad Pitt's body did. And you know what the difference is? I lived, obviously. And spoiler, Brad Pitt died. But I mean, it's not a spoiler because that's what the whole movie's about. But anyways, yeah, dude, if you guys didn't know that, a car hit me, and it hit me first, and then I flew up and over, and as it's driving under me, I came down and hit the windshield and bounced off the windshield. I mean, it's the same way that he got hit in the movie. Same exact way. But yeah, dude, I don't know. It's now we know a lot about you, John 2000. It's interesting that this is your favorite movie. Look, that means he's a very, you know, we already get an idea of John's demeanor, and it's probably a good one. He's probably got a real nice chill demeanor. This is a really good movie, guys. This is a good movie. I just don't think it's my favorite Brad Pitt movie, but I do love the performances in this movie. You want to know another crazy connection I have with this movie? Is, well, no, I won't tell you that one. That one's a little too personal. But but no, yeah, good movie. But I don't think this is my favorite Brad Pitt movie, guys. I think well, it's gonna be a toss-up for me because I already talked about Seven and how much I'm obsessed with that movie. But honestly, like, I can't neglect my upbringing, you know. And for me, I know this probably seems like super atypical, like boy thing to say, but Fight Club is probably my favorite Brad Pitt movie. And a lot of it isn't anything even to do, like, I mean, look at me, like, I'm not a fighter, like, but that's, you know, this movie was made for guys like me. You know, this movie was literally, in the book, really, the book was made for guys like me, like Edward Nortons of the world. And it's so funny because the other day when I went to Walmart, the cashier said I look like Edward Norton. The cashier at Walmart did.
Actually.
I've a couple people have told me that in my lifetime, but I mean, I'll take it. That's awesome. But they made, you know, Chuck Palahniuk wrote the book for guys that aren't Brad Pitts. You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole point of the movie, the show, the book, whatever you want to call it. And it worked on me. You know, it worked on me. And I think it just came out at the right time for me because, you know, I was in high school and, you know, and I was very rebellious and getting into drugs and alcohol, and I was a skateboarder, and I was a gnarly little kid. And then, you know, this movie was, you know, Brad Pitt's character is now saying things that I was already thinking. And I'm like, oh, damn, this is, you know, the movie worked. For whatever reason, I guess is what I say, it worked because I feel like that's why he wrote the book, and then ultimately why they made the movie is because it's like, you know, these rebellious kids are looking for this kind of figure, this maybe older brother type figure, maybe dare I say fatherly figure that they didn't have, you know, and it kind of worked. But also not just for those types of people, but also just for like, you know, hardcore. It also is suited to alpha males in a way too, you know, because what do alpha males love to do? Well, they love to fight, you know. So it was kind of suited for all men in general. It's an interesting, really interesting story, really interesting book, really interesting movie. But I do think it is probably one of my favorite performances of Brad Pitt. I don't know, but Seven is a good contender too. I kind of like that. Like, and yeah, you're right. Meet Joe Black is very young Brad Pitt as well. But honestly, I gotta say, I kind of enjoy him as he's getting older now too, because he's pretty cool in that Dave show. And I'm not a huge fan of the Dave show. It's the show of that white rapper, Little Dicky. He's pretty good, and I do love the Hollywood movie. What was that one? The latest Tarantino movie?
Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I really liked him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. I'm just a big fan of the Fight Club. Yeah, dude. There's something about Native American physical features that just pops on camera. I think it's the shape of the jawline. Yeah, dude. They got yeah, I mean, I don't want to do stereotypes or anything, but I do. I understand what you're saying for sure. If you have not seen Reservation Dogs though, and you're a fan of like Native American shiz, Reservation Dogs is where it's at, dude. This is a Taika Waititi show, but man, it's not your typical Taika Waititi thing. This is really, really good. It's not like, and what I mean by that is like, I feel like when I watch a lot of Taika Waititi things, it feels very childish. This show doesn't really feel childish to me. I mean, I guess it is because it is about like kids, but it's more like adolescence. And but there's a level of maturity to it that I really appreciate that usually Taika Waititi stuff does not have. Usually, there's a little bit too much naivete in some of his stuff, where I feel like this show does a good job of making sure it's not too, you know, I guess childish for lack of a better word, But if you're into this kind of stuff, man, Reservation Dogs is such a beautiful show. Such a good show. Yeah, and it's shot really well too. I mean, look at this. Look at the way it's shot. Let's see, who was this cinematographer on this one? We'll go to season 1 and we'll go check the Res Dogs. And I love it too. Yeah, the pilot, they dress just like the Tarantino movie. What was the name of that one? I forget that one.
Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, Reservoir Dogs. Yeah. Cinematographer Christian Sprenger. Yeah, dude, he did Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Speaking of Brad Pitt. Anyways, Lou Diamond Phillips had that jawline and steroids. Yeah, did not know that about you. I'm sorry to hear that it happened to you. I'm glad that you're okay as long as there have been no lasting health issues. Well, that's why I have the metal in my leg, John. That's where that came from. So I have titanium in my leg. This leg is pretty much all titanium. My right leg is from the knee down. The bone just shattered. Both bones shattered completely. So there was a big gap there. There's a gap about this big. I would say that's about, yeah, it's probably about 3 inches, 3-inch gap. So they had to put a rod in there to kind of allow the bone to grow around. It was a big, gnarly thing. And that was a downside too, because usually you would get it taken out, but I can't. I can't get it taken out. Because if I ever did, and this happened way back in 2006, so this happened in 2006 when this happened. I couldn't walk for 8 months. But if I took it out, I would basically be like Mr. Glass. Do you guys remember Mr. Glass from? I think he got his own spinoff. But Mr. Glass was from yeah, it's called Glass. He's from what was the movie that came before this glass stuff? Unbreakable or whatever. Anyways, yeah, that is pretty much what happened in my leg. So, but now it's been so long, you know, because that was back in 2006, to where now, you know, it's the bone has grown over the rod. It's just gnarly at this point, I imagine. You know, you couldn't take it out if you wanted to at this point. But yeah, it's not a big deal. I mean, I still skateboard, but you know, it's a little rough. It's a little rough. I imagine when I get 60, it's going to be really rough. It's going to be brutal, I think. Pitt actually did a respectable Jamaican accent in that film. Oh, I forgot about that. He did Jamaican in that movie. Speaking of which, oh man, I wish we could watch Tom Hanks' son do the Jamaican accent. Chet Hanks, Jamaican. Now you got me thinking about that. I imagine you guys have seen this, right? I mean, you brought that up, Trev. I imagine you've seen this. Oh, it's on TikTok. Thank God. This is so funny, man. This isn't the real one, though, is it? Man, look at all these things that pop up on here. Let's see.
Very, very sharp. And I'm going to read some comments about myself. Number one, how could you not love how honestly himself he is? I appreciate that. Thank you. I try to be. 2, Chet keeps bringing the hits. Yeah. Hits on hits on hits. Glad you guys like it.
This isn't the one. This is not. He must do it. There is one where he goes full Jamaican. It's this one right here.
I was hooking up with this chick. One day, she was on the phone with her family in Jamaica, and she was really in the middle of a heated conversation. Tell that pussy clot girl me know what. I really had no idea what the fuck she was saying. And her friend said, "Give me a picnic in the car with me so I can't chat." I'm like, wow. So wait, break that down. So then she started breaking down a lot of shit. I'm like, how do you say this? John no star. How do you say that? Oh, like 7. Oh. She was just telling me how to say different shit. So for like a week, like I was really on a Jamaican tip. And that just happened to be the week of the Golden Globes.
Me father told me presenting in a what soon forward come. Big up, tune in.
I had Jamaicans blowing up my Instagram. But respect, General. We're gonna come to the island. You know what I mean? The Jamaican people showed me the most love, hands down. But then you got all these social justice warriors in America saying that I'm a fucking villain.
How do you feel about the idea of cultural appropriation overall?
Check. Anyways, yeah, we lost our audio on that one. I guess that's a good point to bring it to a head, guys. We'll end on Chet Hanks. Oh, man. Yeah, we got down some rabbit holes, but be on the lookout for this Slauson Rec, guys. I'm telling you, man. This is the most anticipated documentary of the year. I'm so stoked on this. Shia Labeouf's theater company from hell, Can Doc, reveals actors' misconduct with students in hopes for redemption. Just premiered today at Cannes. I cannot wait for it. It's called Slauson Rec, dude. I gather that you have to be the guy in the TSA line that they worry about. My right leg is loaded with titanium because of a knee replacement failure in the lower tib and fib. Yours as well, John. It's basically the same thing then. Yeah, dude. Sometimes it's okay because it's titanium, so it doesn't always go off. It just depends. A lot of times if I tell them, they just walk me around too, so that's kind of nice actually. My background is photography, so I have a bit of a preoccupation with facial features. I wish I had that same problem. I tend to look at all the weird things before I look at their faces. No, that's not true. Anyways, yeah, I guess that's it then. Be on the lookout for this thing, guys. No joke. This thing is going to be so good. I mean, it's already premiering at Cannes, so it's only a matter of time before it makes its way to one of the streamers, I would imagine. Unless there's something else, I think we got it all out of there. Someone, please spend $21.49 and buy this Hilti thing and make a video about it. Say, I found the new Easy Rig. Look at this thing. It's so funny, dude. Okay. Anyways, we've been on here for what, 2 hours now, I think, probably. So we'll cut it. Thank you all so much. I love the support. John, as always, you're the man. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.